Hi, welcome to Pacific Trustees Berhad YouTube page. In this second video tutorial, I am going to show you how and what to fill up for the Pacific TrustPlan form in the PacT Online Platform. So as usual, you log in as a planner and you go to Forms, then you press the Add button. Instead of choosing Pacific Real Plan, which is included in our first video, so we are going for Pacific Trust Plan. So this applies to both category and product names, and you press confirm. Now we come to the first part of Pacific Trust Plan form. So there are a total of 11 sections. So first section, section A, type of trust. So in this section, we are going to choose the type of trust that the client wants. So the first option is Pacific Trust Plan. This is a normal living trust. Second option is Pacific Amanah Plan, which is also a trust but is Sharia compliance. And Pacific Hibah Plan, basically a gift of assets. And we have to choose either a conventional trust or a premium trust. And the most basic type of trust is care trust. This basically covers regular maintenance for living, education, medical, and so on. So there are other different types of trusts. And as for premium trust, we have dynasty trust, family office trust, and charitable foundation. So in this case, I'm just going to go for the normal type of trust, Pacific Trust Plan, and the conventional type of trust, the care trust. So I will move on to the second section. Now we come to the second part of Pacific Trust Plan form. Section B, settlor personal details. So we use the term settlor for trust, and for will we use the term testator, but both terms refers to the client, him or herself. So I'm just going to fill up this form. Okay, so this will be a dummy client account. To make sure all the information inserted are correct. And make sure the date of birth tally with the IC number. So basically just fill up all the required information, and we move on to the third section. So in the third part, we come to section C, trustee appointment. So in this page, we will appoint Pacific Trustees Berhad as the corporate trustees, and just tick at this small box. Then you move on to the fourth section. Next, we come to the fourth section of Pacific Trust Plan form. Section D, this will be the trust objective and structure. So you have to determine the purpose of trust, for what kind of purposes. So in this case, I'll just take all maintenance, education, and medical. And if you have other purpose, you can just state it down here. And you have to determine whether this trust is revocable or irrevocable. So for revocable trust, let's say you put in a property into the trust, and at some point in the future, you can undo the trust or terminate the trust by removing the property. So this will fall into revocable trust. And for irrevocable trust, once you set up the trust, you can't modify or terminate the trust for the settlor, him or herself, unless you get the permission of the beneficiary. So for irrevocable trust, you have to get the permission of beneficiaries in order for you to terminate the trust. So for this case, I'll just choose revocable trust, and you have to choose either the trust to be fixed or discretionary. For a fixed trust, you cannot change the content of the trust once it is set up. Okay, as for discretionary trust, you can add in assets in a periodic manner or as and when it is needed. So for this case, I just choose a fixed trust. So once you are done, just move forward to the next section. Moving forward to the fifth section, we come to section E. Is the beneficiary details. So as usual, you just have to key in the details of the beneficiaries that you wish to benefit from the trust. So just press the add button to add the first beneficiary. So I'll put in Susan, let's say Tay. Key in the IC number. And the age, and the relationship with the settlor. So you can add in more by pressing the add button. So for this case, I'll just put in the wife and son. Okay, so once you are done, just press the next button. Next, we come to the sixth section, section F. This is the guardian for minor. This section only applies to beneficiaries that is infant or minor that have not attained the age of 21 for non-Muslim or 18 years old for Muslim. So for this case, Mr. David's son, James Tan, really attained the age of 25 years old. So this section is actually not relevant to Mr. David Tan case. So you can actually ignore this section, but I'll just bring you through the rest. So let's say you have an infant or minor that is below the age of 21 for non-Muslim. Just have to key in the details, the name, IC number, address, and relationship with the settlor. So for this case, I'll just cancel this clause and move on to the next section. Moving forward to the seventh section, section G. This is trust management and distribution. So this part is very crucial. It will determine how Pacific Trustee is going to manage the trust. So by pressing the add button, you can insert the trust asset. So let's say I put house 1 and management of trust asset. There are a few options available. So for this one, I'll just put rent income. And from a list of beneficiaries, just now we have inserted Susan Tay and James Tan, so we can choose either one of them. So let's say I put 50% for Susan Tay and put James Tan 50%. So you can determine how frequent you want to pay this rent income that you get from house 1 to the beneficiaries. terms of lump sum, quarterly, monthly or yearly. So I can just choose monthly, and if you have other condition you can just list it down here. And at the bottom we have this give over clause. So let's say if either one of the party, one of the beneficiary pass away, you can distribute the respective shares either to the surviving beneficiaries or different beneficiaries, which you will need to list it down over here. So in this case I'll just give over to the surviving beneficiary. So let's say Susan Tay passed away and her share will give all to James Tan. So you can add on the trust asset by pressing the add button. So trust asset number 2 and so on. Okay, for this case I'll just put 1 assets. So move on to the next section. At 8th section we come to section H, trust duration and distribution of balance. So you have to determine how long this trust should last and how can we distribute the balance of the trust assets. So you can choose either a fixed trust period, so you can put like 80 years, maximum period of 80 years, or when the last beneficiary attains a certain number of years, let's say 30 years old, yeah, you can do that. Or when all the beneficiary pass away, then the trust will be terminated. Or if you have other way of distributing the trust, you can list it down here. So for this case I'll just put maximum year 80 years. Okay, so you can move on to the next section. Next we come to the 9th section. This is PDPA notice. So as usual you just read through the PDPA Act 2010 and you go to the bottom of the page and tick at the small box, okay, that you have read and agreed to the PDPA as stated above. Then just move on to the next section. Okay, in this section, section 10, this is the attachment section. So you will have to save before you can upload any attachment. So just press the button save and indicate that the form has been saved, and you can upload all the necessary documents. So you just choose any file from your PC. Okay. So move on to the next section, the last section. Now we come to the last part of Pacific TrustPlan form, section K. This is the payment section, where we can see the appointment fee for the care trust is 2,120. This fee is inclusive of GST. And once you have confirmed all the details, just press the button save and you can proceed to submit and make payment. So we have online payment like PayPal or IP88, or other payment options such as TT or ATM banking. Just bank into our bank account name, Pacific Trustees Berhad, with the account number. And if you are making payment through online, such as PayPal, your payment detail will be reflected over here. This applies the same to IP88. However, for payment options like TT or ATM bank-in, you can attach your proof of payment under the attachment options. So I think that is all for the video today. I hope that you find this video useful. And if you have other inquiries, please do drop us an email or you can call us. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.